Hey everyone, this is a topic I'm very passionate about, and I think it can make the world so much better. Have you ever felt that in this society you have no agency, no power to change something, that you lack purpose, and that you're hopeless that the world can become better? Well, it all comes from centralization. When power goes up, all those under it are controlled. And we don't live really in a society. It is basically like a farm, and people there own the farm, and you live like a farm animal. The result is that you have no meaning, no purpose, no hope, no agency in your life. That obviously leads to depression and the suppression of your real self. Where is the creativity, the urge to create, to love, to make the world a better place? So the solution for that is decentralization. And there are already things in your day-to-day life that are working like that. For example, you have food cooperatives, you have local farmers, even messaging applications that are decentralized. And there are also many other technologies that have various degrees of centralization, from having centralization in an institution, from having somewhat of a dependency to having full peer-to-peer decentralization. Right? And they don't need the government to work. You don't win against the state in centralization by going against it, as the state is literally the monopoly of force in a given area. So instead of fighting it, you just become better than it. The four most important things to solve or create a parallel society is the following: identity, reputation, contracts, and storing and transferring value. These are already solved by existing technologies, and you might use many of those in your day to day life. For example, you don't need a government ID for people to identify that you are you. When you are in social media, yes, some social media websites are now requiring digital ID, but you don't need that for social media, and people recognize that it's you. So identity is not necessarily tied to a government. Then it comes reputation. You can see in many apps such as Uber, Airbnb, and other places where there is vendor or service provider reputation. We can extrapolate that to many other systems. And it also works in small communities where people know each other. With technology, you can increase that, scale that way further. When it comes to contracts, you have arbitration, multi-signature, and many other ways. Finally, when it comes to storing and transferring value, you have several options, from cash to crypto to local credits that are specifically tied to a community, and also favors, which is something people don't think about. But you can store value with your reputation and services, favors. For example, there is a website, I don't remember the name now, but I'm going to put it in the video, where you start building a reputation by providing free services. For example, repairing bikes or taking care of kids, teaching languages. And in turn, people are going to do favors for you, and that keeps building upon a parallel skill network where everybody can rely on each other. And it requires no exchange of actual money, where value is actually being exchanged. Also, when it comes to contracts, it's quite easy to create a decentralized contract. And the way to enforce that is to, instead of actually using physical force, have two things: reputation cost, which is social cost. People are going to be less likely to do business with you if you have a bad reputation, and also the financial costs for a person, where if you have a good contract, it ensures that the service provider is paid if they do a good job, and that you keep your money if they don't deliver on the promise. Now, with all of that, you can start combining those four principles into many useful things. For example, when you have contract, value, reputation, identity, you can start connecting those and create jobs and create services, as well as creating marketplaces, which are basically interfaces of human coordination where you can start finding skills, finding people, communities, etc. Discovering people is not because of a centralized system. There are so many ways to discover and interact with other human beings. And also, this is not limited to the digital world, of course. When you move into the real world, you can start generating value for yourself. You can start generating food with local food production, cooperatives, individual farming, many other ways. It can also start going into utilities, such as producing power, producing water, construction, and even transport, as there are systems where, like Uber, decentralized, and you can create a decentralized way of operating the Uber-like app. Not only that, there are many places where you can find informal rides between people that are going from a place to another, and based on your reputation that you were building a little while ago, you can start being accepted more and more by these services. And now, instead of your identity being just a piece of paper, it starts building as an asset for you with your reputation, your skills. You basically build a portfolio that both help you outside of the parallel societies and parallel communities, as well as inside them, financially and socially, by creating value, financial value, and also socially, reputation, favors, etc. This upgrades your life because you have more safe places that you can go to, people that agree with you, people that are going to take care of you. You have more support, more help in so many other areas. And you can create parallel diasporas this way. Some examples of those are the Amish, the Mennonite, and you can research about the others. With time, this can easily evolve into other systems, such as healthcare, education, and other more advanced services, such as accounting, lawyers, and even international relocation. Because this doesn't depend on any centralized state. So you can have members in so many places that can help each other coordinate. You can always have an escape plan if a place where you live starts becoming oppressive or is not aligned with your values. You can get more optionality and more mobility, more freedom. The values that most help these parallel societies, communities, are simplicity, transparency, and interoperability. As because this is an open protocol that is being built, it can be replicated anywhere. And the simpler it is, the easier it is for more communities to pop up and start helping each other. And you personally can start anywhere, as this is a decentralized system. There's no authority telling you you can do this, you can't do that. So, for example, you can start by supporting your local farmer, or you can start building your skills, building your personal portfolio and reputation, or you can start talking to your friends about buying a piece of land and creating your own community. You can start talking to different people and coordinating. There are so many ways where you can start introducing parallel systems into your life that can only make your life so much better. Thanks for watching.